Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Hudrico Live. I'm your host, Hudrico, and today we are sitting down with two-time Super Bowl champion Brandon Jacobs. Yes, the juggernaut has came to Hudrico Live to talk about his path to the NFL. And yes, it was not a straight path as most people think. He talks to us about how he did not let people define him on who he is and the player that he was going to be. You want to hear Brandon's story? Don't worry. Tune in as Hudrico Live starts right now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Hudrico Live. Hudrico Live. Hudrico Live. Hudrico Live. Hudrico Live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Hudrico Live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Hudrico Live. And today, we are bringing you a two-time Super Bowl champion. Now, we ain't talking about a runner-up. We're talking about a champion, man. Some people have labeled him the juggernaut. Some people have labeled him the hammer. I mean, 6'4", bringing power down the field. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you none other than Brandon Jacobs. Champ, how you doing this afternoon, man?
Man, look, I'm doing pretty good, man. It's getting hot down here in Georgia. I just finished walking my dog, and now I'm pressure washing the concrete. Y'all can see, I got a big outing coming up this weekend, some ball crawfish and, stuff with some friends, man. So I'm trying to clean up the backyard.
So crawfish, so let me know what time so I can get on the first day. I'm out here in Vegas, but the airport is stay flying. I love me some crawfish. Hudrico will travel, man. So how's life in Georgia treating you, man? How's that going?
It's pretty good, man. Georgia's a cool place. I have kids and play sports, and it's a great place, man. I mean, it's friendly here, especially where I live. It's real friendly. I like it. I would like to be in Florida, and like Boca or somewhere like that, or Tampa area, something like that. But Georgia's good.
So life after football don't got you to Georgia. You kind of getting the coaching aspect going. I see you kind of got some things going, but you just kind of settling, living that good life, enjoying life after going through quite a few years of taking and delivering quite a bit of punishment.
Well, man, my body, it's doing good, man. I get out, I work with the kids, show them examples. Sometimes, I play basketball weekly. Not as much as I would like to, but right now I'm doing good. You know what I mean? I got it going all right.
So, one thing when I first saw you, so just in case for y'all to know, this Sunday, I was in Los Angeles for a Rivals event for my son, and Coach Jacobs was out there, and you would think he was still playing. And you see the passion when he's coaching kids. There was the same passion you saw on Sundays. He was just as fiery as he was back when he was playing for the Giants and when he was out there coaching these kids. So you can see that football is something that you've been passionate about back when you lived back in them days in Napoleonville, Louisiana. That passion never really went away from you. What really drew you to football back when you was a kid, back in Louisiana?
So, man, I had two cousins, Chad and Ethan. My aunt was taking them. It was right before I moved in with her, but she was taking them to go play football. At this program, the Bayou Lafou Saints it was, and I moved in at the same time, but she put me in too. I didn't really like it, it wasn't something really I wanted to do. I didn't really, I could have been I would have been good without it too, but she put me in. Pretty good at it. First time I touched the ball, I took it to the house. Okay. First time outside 80 yards. And from that point forward, I thought that I knew going forward that, okay, this is easy. It was real easy for me. You know what I mean? It's just one of the things that's like, dang, all right, I'm going to go sit down. So I'm going to go score right now, and then I'm going to sit down.
So you knew early, look, just give me the ball, get out of the way, let me score, and let me get some of this good Gatorade, man. Because, now most people get this idea of when you play football, you play well, you do good, you go to the NFL, you had it easy. All you had to do was play football, and you got to that standpoint. One thing about your story that I don't even know if most people know, you did not have the normal trajectory to get to the league. Your travels to get to the Giants drafting you went through quite a few, I won't say road bumps or speed bumps. It went through different stops. You came out of high school, highly touted. Tommy Tuberville offered you a scholarship to go to Auburn. Now, I know you was an LSU fan, but you had an offer to go to Auburn. You wanted to go, but due to some other situations, some academics, that's why we always tell these kids, student athletes, they think it's a game until it becomes real. And I think you are a great example of knowing how important it is. How much of a blow was it to you when you couldn't go to Auburn like you wanted to, and you had to take the alternative route by going to Coffee Field?
Well, it was a blow. It was a blow, and I'm gonna tell you why I think it was a blow. I might have came out on top at the end. I would have also had a fair opportunity to compete with Ronnie Brown and Alec Williams, giving them being there before me because I had to go to junior college because I have the grades. Number one blow, right? So Auburn helped me get eligible by sending me to junior college. Junior college Coffeeville accepted me. So I went, got my academics straight, played for 2 seasons there. That's 2 years of eligibility of a big, Power 5 school, gone, just like that. So having to do that and not get my stuff together beforehand, man, it was a huge blow. Now I ended up getting drafted in the 4th round. Blessing for that. Got drafted in the 4th. Went through, back up, second year, back up, goal line, third down type situation, third year, Tiki leaves, I'm starting. Here we go.
So going through that, and now this is one thing I want to highlight because a lot of young men, they get this mindset that, okay, I go to this school, I start, I'm the guy. You went through adversity. You had to be resilient because naturally, when you was in high school, you was running over everybody. You had all these magical yards. Even when you went to Auburn, you had a game against Mississippi State. After that game, you should have been the man. You look at the numbers you put up. Let me see, I got a 31 carries for $182. It was your time to shine. But still, you had to go through the political side of you still got Ronnie Brown and Cadillac. Now, you made probably one of the toughest decisions a young man would make. You left a Power 5 school, a program like Auburn, went down to a Division I AA school, still was able to perform, still was able to get drafted. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't think you understand. This is not your normal path. Then you go to the Giants and you got Tiki Barber. It's Tiki time. This guy's the resilience. He plays every down. I don't even think Tiki ever came out. So how do you keep your mindset to saying that I'm still as good as I know I am? I still can contribute. I still can be the player that I want to be when you're still not getting the chance that you feel you deserve?
So let me tell you what kind of brought that on. So I was at Auburn, and I went through the first season. I had some good numbers. I think I had like 60, 61, 62 carries, 63 carries, with like 466 yards or something like that. It was. I'm not sure. I had a couple touchdowns in there. So, we were sitting back, because Cadillac had a great season.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna leave his junior year, and he didn't leave. So then I was the third option for us, might have been the fourth option on the day they used Trey Smith, So I just, hung in there. And so when Cadillac didn't leave, I started looking to transfer, that spring of 2004. And I ended up going to junior college. Well, let's go back. So I ended up looking at a mock draft. It was a mock draft that had came out with our draft class. And it had me going number 31 to Pittsburgh on this particular mock draft. I don't know who mock draft it was. And I saw that and I was like, man, that's a first round grade. And I was playing behind these boys. I had 400 something, I had 466, I didn't have good yardage. And they still had me up on that draft board like that. So I was like, okay, so now I'm out there now. Now somebody know who I am on this draft board. With all these other players throughout all these other schools, I'm going to transfer to a small school. That's how Southern Illinois came in. And ended up going there with Coach Saya, who coached me in junior college. He was our defensive coordinator, and were like 4 or 5 players I played with in junior college at Coffeeville that also went to Southern Illinois. So I went there with them. Had a blast. Still split time. Me and R.T. Whitlock even had Terry Jackson, who transferred in from Minnesota that year. He was there with Marion Barber, and he had 1,300 yards the year before that. So they wanted to go with Marion Barber that coming up in 2000. I think that 2004 season. So he transferred to Southern as well. So it's us 3, but it's mainly myself and Whitlock taking the carries. And I just, like I said, I went, I played hard. I didn't even have 1,000 yards. I think I had like 900 and something, 982 or something like that. And RT had like like 960, 970, something of that nature. We was number one team in the country. We did real good. We came up short in the first round of the FCS playoffs at Eastern Washington. Who, man, it was just, I think about that. But anyway, but after all that was over, I had an opportunity to go with my father-in-law. He helped me pick an agent, and I stuck with him. The whole time. He got me invited to the combine. Went running among all the other top players. Had a good time. I was heavier than all the other running backs. I just wanted to go run a 4.5. I weighed in at 267. I ran a 4.56. So that was pretty good. And then I ended up going through the process, all these pro days, and all these guys come and talk to me. I had Cincinnati Bengals came, Cleveland Browns came, and he wanted me to work out in my NFL workout as a tight end. So I'm like, cool, I'm gonna give you this. I'm gonna work out for you in tight end because I know I can do it. But I'm a running back.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So you went through some unique situation, but what I'm not going to allow you to do is just breeze over the fact that you said you're 264 and ran a 4.5. Like, that's just something that every Joe Blow on the side of the street is able to do. I mean, listen, that is some freakish type athletic ability. It was truly an amazing feat to be able to do. So you said that Cleveland wanted you to be a tight end. I remember they said when you first stepped on the campus at Coffee, they wanted you to be a lineman. Some people said that you wanted you to be this. Everybody has always tried to label you on what they wanted you to be, but you have maintained your mindset on this is who I am and this is what I'm going to be able to do. Where did you get that from? Where did you get that? And how do you keep that mind frame through all acts, through all adversity, through no matter what nobody else says? How do you keep yourself locked in on who Brandon Jacobs is? Your life, what you do, what you love, is your craft. You know what I mean? It's your craft. So me playing running back and me beating on my craft daily to get better, I feel like it would have been a slap. I could have slapped myself in the face for allowing me to think about doing something or playing something else, no matter what was on the line, That's the reason I didn't go to LSU. Because I got three guys actually told me. Marcus Spears was one of them. It was Michael Clayton and Corey Webster. I knew all of them. It was a year older than me. Went on a visit there. They told me, man, don't come here. He's going to change your position. I never gave it a second chance, a second shot. Now, guess what happened? Through all of that, Nick Saban there at the time, he changed Corey from a quarterback to a DB. He changed Marcus Spears from a tight end to a defensive end. He changed Michael Clayton from a quarterback to a wide receiver. Michael Clayton went first round. Marcus Spears went first round. Corey Webster went second round. At those positions that Nick Saban. So every time I see it and I think about, man, what would he have changed you to?
Man, I'm like, I wonder if I could have went first round from LSU after junior college as a defensive end. So I just keep on ticking,
But
I was real strong.
But you know what? You did well at what you did. And I can't tell you how many fantasy games you have won for me at that goal line, punching it in, man. You want to win, put Jacobs in, man. I can't tell you how many people have praised Brandon Jacobs when he went in. When that game got close and they got to that goal line, you came in and came through for so many people. So don't worry what Nick would have done. Worry about what you did do because you did a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
now,
appreciate it.
One thing you did mention when you were telling your story that I thought was an amazing point. You talked about, I didn't have 1,000 yards. I didn't have this many carries. I didn't have that many carries. Talk about the importance of making the most of whatever you do get. Because a lot of these kids, especially these young high school athletes, some of these college athletes, they chasing numbers. They're chasing reps. They're chasing, I got to get mine. Talk about how important it is just to make the most of whatever you do get.
Everything, when you get that opportunity, you never know when it's going to come around again. So you got to take advantage of it, even if it's something that you might not like. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, when you get a chance, because it ain't many time, that you're going to get a chance, like me sitting in there doing exactly what I want to do, play what I want to play. I just worked and worked and worked, and don't take it for granted. You can't take nothing for granted. It's there one time and it's gone the next time. So you got to really, especially when you got ability physical ability to do things, take advantage of it. If you want to have that edge, then you work for it. So, don't take life for granted and your ability and you as a person, your character, all of that, man. Don't do it. Men and women, boys and girls, go get what you.
That's facts. Now let's transition. Now you don't made it to the NFL. You get drafted by the Giants. First off, take me to that moment. You hear somebody say in the fourth round, with the 110th pick, the New York Giants select Brandon Jacobs. What happens?
I never even heard that.
Oh.
I never even heard that. I got drafted on the second day. They had the draft with the first 3 rounds was the first day.
Mm-hmm.
The next 4 was on that Sunday. And I got a call early on in the 4th round, just from the New York, I didn't really know because the phone rung and I said like New Jersey on the phone or something like that. I'm like, don't answer the phone. I'm going to tie the phone line, whatever. It was like, no, I mean, I said, all right, just answer it real quick and, so we can get off the phone, And, answered the phone and who's my wife now, she gave me the phone. She's like, here, this phone's for you. Gave it to me. It was Ernie Accorsi on the other, it was Ernie Accorsi on the phone asking me, hey, how you doing, big guy? It's Ernie Accorsi from the New York Giants. What you think about being a Giant? I'm like, man, that's rock and roll. I can't wait. I can't wait to get in. Like, hey, yeah, we ready. We can't wait to have you and come in and in a few weeks and get ready to work and let's start the journey. Man. That's what happened. It was great. Getting that call was astronomical, man. It was awesome.
Now,
I'm thinking, clog up the phone line.
So you're trying to keep the line clear, but Jesus on the main line. He's telling you what you want, and you over here worried about keeping the line clear.
The football teams in New Jersey, me thinking that at the time.
Who's in New Jersey, man? You over here thinking it's a bill collector. You know how we get.
Jersey and the Jets are now in Jersey.
So how did that change everything for you? Because most people, when they say when you get to the league, so many things change for you. Did it change who you were as a person? Because now your whole financial future, your family's future, it all changed in a blink of an eye. How did that change for you as a person now that you have not necessarily secured the bag, but you secured your future and your career now as an NFL player?
Well, it comes with discipline, man. I definitely have my time when I play ball and I want to go and do stuff, have fun, spend a lot of money, do a lot of things like that. I still have my opportunities, I drove fast cars and did what I had to do. I'm good. I'm in a great place financially. Do good with my money, man, and that's pretty much what it is. When we don't live an extravagant life, none of that. I honestly cherish every dollar, that I have, and that I made from playing ball. Because I know it's not, they don't come by easy, man. But getting to that point, your life changes, drastically. Whether you admit it or not, you got to change it. You got to change it. You got to change who's around you. You have to change everything. And along the way to success, you're gonna lose a few people along the way, and you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with it.
That's definitely because everybody that around you doesn't always wish the best for you. They may want something from you, but they may not always wish the best for you. So you mentioned earlier just how good of a player that Tiki Barber was coming in as a rookie. How big was it for you to learn from a guy like that, to learn how to be a professional and learn how to play the running back position on a professional level from a guy like Tiki?
I learned a lot from Tiki, man. Tiki was, great dude, man. Knew the game, knew the media side of it, knew when not to trust somebody a little bit, a lot. It was a lot of the parts of the game, learning the offense, and him I had the best running back coach ever, man. Coach Gerald Ingram. So between those two, and some of the guys I was in there with before, like Derek Waters, Mike Cloud, Jimmy Finn at the time, man, it was a great room that was led by Tiki, man, and he did a great job of getting us where we needed to be and helping me learn, the offense.
So you get Tiki for 2 years, and Tiki steps out to retire, and then all of a sudden, it is now, finally, there's no more Cadillac, no more Rondé, no more Tiki, no more Ronnie Brown, no more. It is the Brandon Jacobs Show. What's going through your mind now?
Well, I'm ready for it, of course, because Tiki, said, toward the end of the season, he was coming up that he didn't know what he was going to do. He wanted to try to take a job in media and try to, do more while he was younger. He ended up having 1,800 yards that year, man. And I asked him, like, yo, T, you sure you want to be done? You sure you want to retire? He was like, Brandon, I'm good. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to spend time with my kids and do stuff. It's been 10 years. That's cool. I said, but you just rushed for 1,800 yards, man. You just rushed for 18 this year. Like, you sure? I'm like, I'm sure. And he says, it's all you, big boy. And me, Derek Ward, and at the time, Ruben Jones competed for the job. I came out with it and ended up winning the Super Bowl that year.
Now, take me there. You win a Super Bowl.
Go rush for 1,000. We drafted young Ahmad Bradshaw his rookie year. There he gets better along the way, get hot in the playoffs, and we go and win the Super Bowl. And I start for maybe 3-4 years, and then Ahmad had it, and that was it.
So you win a Super Bowl. Take me through that. Now I know there was a joy of getting drafted. There's a joy of running somebody over. Give me the joy of winning the Super Bowl, man. I mean, that's for all us football fans. That's the mecca. Even as a fan, man. Look, when I like Tampa Bay before Tom Brady. I got to make sure I put that out there. When they won the Super Bowl, I was out here crying like I just ran a sprint sometime during the spring. So I can only imagine what it felt like for you as a player to win the Super Bowl. What's that feeling?
Oh man, it was an experience. I just don't know really. I don't really know if I could explain it to you. I don't really know if I can give it to you. Like you need to, like you need to get it. But man, it was for me. What I ended up doing, man, was like when we finally won it, I went and sat down on the bench. My wife was running around the field looking for me. With my firstborn son, she was running around the field looking for me, and we ended up coming to each other. I just sat down on the bench and just watched everybody run around. That's why you don't see me in many of those videos. Okay. That's what I did. I went and I sat down on a bench and just watched everybody. I did that for like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. And then I went and walked around and I saw my wife.
So you was just taking it all in. You were just like, was basking in the glory.
Took it all in, yeah.
So now that's what happened the first time. But see, not like 2 Chainz, you got 2 rings. What changed from the first win to the second win? Other than the fact that you beat Tom Brady not once, but twice.
Yeah, it was so that second time it was like pumped up, running around, you know what I mean, celebrating. Because I knew what the initial feeling already was, was already like. So, but we just took all that one in. Like the first one, we just knew we was going to be in that fight for our life. Undefeated Patriots. The second one, we were like, we smashed them during the season already. Good with this one. We got it. And that's what happened.
And y'all just knew.
Yeah, but like when I say smash, I don't mean like just score smash, but we brutally beat them every series, every quarter, and people saw it. Granted, the score was 21 something the first time we played them during the year, and it was the same, thing like I think 21-17 in the playoff in the Super Bowl, but we won the game convincingly. Everybody can look at it and say, "Wow, the Giants really beat them like up and down the field like every time."
So there was no doubt. Now, you talk about beating that undefeated Patriots team. Was it more to you to just stop their historic run like that? Did you really feel like David versus Goliath to just beat that team and just take that away from them? Did it make it even more sweeter to beat them like that?
When it initially felt like that? When we played them in week 17. David versus Goliath. These boys are 17-0. They're trying to go for a perfect 18-0 season. I mean, yeah.
I'm tracking.
Yeah. They're 15-0, trying to go 16-0. And we standing there week 17. We had just made the playoffs against Buffalo the week before. We like, all right, so what we doing? Think TC gonna play us? You think, what y'all think he gonna do? Well, that joke would say, strap up.
Strap up.
We can't take no break. Play. So his whole thing was they was going to be undefeated, but their players had been in the playoffs since week, 11. Week 10, they clinched their playoff spot. And they boys are still playing. Tom Brady's still playing. Lawrence Maroney playing. Randy Moss is playing. Why not us? Why not play our guys? And he played us, and we almost beat him.
And so,
So
it just made it even better when it came down to Super Bowl.
it
Made it even better when it came down to the Super Bowl to finally get that dub.
It made it that much better because we didn't see him as Goliath the second time around. He wasn't Goliath coming around like it was the first time. We were just going that thing, playing, having fun, like whatever happened, happened. Whatever happened, happened. Shit, we got to be out here playing, and we ended up getting there. We ended up taking that thing to the fourth quarter, the end of the fourth quarter, having a chance to win in the end.
And guess what? Y'all got it done.
That gave us confidence going into the playoffs. You know what? Just have fun, play the game. Don't be all uptight. Just go play. And we went straight through it and saw him again.
Now, everybody talks about how great Tom Brady is. And mind you, I mean, he's a bad man, jamma. And Eli always gets compared to his brother because of the sibling rivalry. But you were in the huddle with Eli Manning for quite some time. How good is Eli Manning? Because, he's so mild-mannered, he don't really say too much to the media. He's kind of that low, he's very melancholy in certain situations. Who is Eli Manning? How good is he as a quarterback? What is something that we don't know about Eli Manning?
Hey, man, listen. Here we go. Easy E, my guy, man. I wouldn't trade him for the world. Eli was he wasn't a boisterous, like outward, like boisterous like that. If he had to get loud or do something out there, he can do it, obviously. But he was he was a guy who led from a different position. We looked at him as a leader because he was our quarterback. Mm-hmm. I'm saying he's our quarterback. That's the leader of our team. His demeanor and characteristics he had didn't denote him as that to us. We looked at him solely. He's our quarterback. They drafted this man number 1 overall. He good. He can play. He left room for others to be that boisterous, loud guy like myself, people like that. I had a chance to be, the emotional leader of the team and playing, in the offense, and playing with Eli, he just took care of his business. He took care of his business on the field. He took care, in the film room, learning what he had to do, figuring it out, putting countless hours in morning, noon, and night to figure the game out, man. And he came into his own, I would say, which was my third year in the leagues, when he really showed that Super Bowl season is when he really showed that, fighting, the adversity and coming through things. And, our whole team had just had a whole new refreshed aura and came that with him. He opened up more. He opened up more, led boisterous a little bit more, encouraged his teammates, doing stuff like that. And man, we went to bat, man. We went to fighting for him. Like, he had the ability, he had a strong arm. He had the mind to convert routes into certain coverages, put us in certain runs by looking at it. Okay, we got a 3 technique. We can't run inside zone here. We got to go to the other side and run into the shed, like stuff like that. Will put us in position, predicated on with the defense. And the coverages give you, changing routes, on his helmet because he see a certain coverage twisting and rolling. The dude had everything he needed. Was he a big old physical, muscular, pull it in, run the read option and running? Nah, he wasn't that guy. It took him 4 or 5 days to get 10 yards. But that wasn't him. But man, Eli is a guy who can orchestrate his defense. He can orchestrate his offense and pick this defense apart. You had an offensive coordinator on the sideline, Kevin Gilbride, who at that point he was just getting comfortable with because he gave Kevin the offensive coordinator job the year before, and then things started being, things got good with Coach Gilbride because he was an outgoing, cool coach, talked to everybody. So we trusted him. And Eli opened up a little more about communicating with him on a daily basis. And he opened up, he just gave the media the side out like that. But I think with Kevin Gilbride, man, he was one of the big reasons you asked me for a lot of Eli's success and his personality opening up like that. And him and Coach Sullivan, who was our quarterback's coach at the time.
So basically, you guys got a chance to meet the real Eli, even though he was not so boisterous to everybody else. He showed a different side, but you can definitely say he was a leader. You don't win 2 Super Bowls in this league by coincidence. It doesn't happen that way. Now, before we wrap this thing up, I can't help myself but to not ask this question. You don't punish a lot of people. You don't ran through a lot of people. Who's the one person you don't just literally, you don't lay down, but you just remember like, oh yeah, I kind of killed that dude. Like that wasn't even fair.
Oh man, so that came from my best one. I think is Brian Urlacher. I think that's my best one. A lot of people don't see it. Everybody that got around Landry, they say, that was like a freight train. Like I had a chance to show a little bit of quickness into exploding into Brian Urlacher when he wasn't ready for it. I leaned back into him as he was in pursuit, and he just went flying. But that was like one of my favorite runs. Like it was like that.
So Brian Urlacher was your favorite run. Now, who was the guy that came with it? And you was like, okay, he actually bringing something to the party.
Well, I know every time we played against that boy Jeremiah Trotter with Philly, you had to be ready. You had to be ready. Like Jeremiah Trotter sitting in there, somewhere like 6'2", 6 foot, 6'2", 6'1", somewhere around there, 254, 255 pounds, running real good, coming down here playing the run. That boy was a beast, man.
He came with something.
He came with it. Every time he came with it. Bliss protection. He coming in that thing like, God, I gotta be ready every single time with him.
That's what's up.
I gotta be ready with this dude, man. I can't take no plays off. I gotta be ready to explode into him every single time.
Well, that's what's up. Now, last piece of advice. What would you tell the young athletes out there who are trying to get to where you have gotten to, as what are the tools they need to make sure they possess to reach the levels you have reached, and not only reach there, but to be able to stay there?
Well, that's making it to where I made it to the NFL. I'm gonna give y'all this this little piece. I thought it was awfully easy to make it to the NFL. A lot of people make it to the NFL, right? You get so many late round draft picks. You get all the way, like all 32 of these teams also bring in like 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 free agents as well, rookie free agents. So they name on that roster. So they consider it as making it to the NFL. The toughest thing to do in the NFL is remain in the NFL. Keep your spots. Secure your spot. Because every year they bring somebody in to take you out. Every Tuesday during every season they have tryouts. They have workouts for people coming in. They pick guys to come in and work out, and they pick them right then and there. They're always looking to replace you. So you got to be on your P's and Q's every time. Every time. So, and if it's important enough to anybody who want to get there, you got to put the proper work in from right now to starting right now where you are. I don't care if you're in the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th grade. If you're playing and you want to make it this far, you need to start taking it serious right now. And you need to put in the necessary work that's needed.
And that's facts. And that leads me to my final timeout. For the final timeout, ladies and gentlemen, you heard what the man said. You got to have a mindset that you're going to stay determined on what you choose that you want to do. Everybody's going to always tell you what you need to do, but you have to determine what you're going to do. And to do that, you have to be strong-minded, strong-willed, and be willing to go that extra mile. You want this goal, you got to start working. The work doesn't happen for you. Nobody's going to do it for you. You have to go after it and get what you want. You want to be the best, then work like the best. And the best don't take days off. The best don't take breaks. The people are always looking to replace you. There's always somebody trying to take what you have. But are you going to fight for it? Are you going to keep working towards it? And are you going to keep getting after it? And if you are, you can have it. And if you won't, somebody will take it. We like to thank our guest, Brandon Jacobs. Brandon, man, where can the people follow you if they want to follow? If they want to just see what you got going on, man, where can they follow you at, man?
Man, I am on Instagram at NYG TD record 27. I know it's long, but that's
got you.
I'm also on Twitter as Brandon Jacobs 27. On there, you can follow I run a youth program in North Atlanta Giants out here in Alpharetta, Georgia, at St. Francis High School. That's North Atlanta Giants football on Instagram. Man. It's not really, I'm not, I just try to do the right thing, man, and work and get it done, man. We getting ready to start preparing for our youth season that's coming up here and looking forward to it, man. Last year was a crazy year with COVID. We still got a chance to play, but, we coming right back up on another season right now.
Well, look, we'd like to thank you for taking the time to join us. And for ladies and gentlemen, that's another episode of Hudrico Live in the books.